and welcome to episode 113 of the podcast. I've had a really busy week. Been ill for part of it, which I'll come to later. We've been away to Bath for a couple of days. I've been doing lots of knitting. I finished something. I've made some progress on a couple of other things. So lots to talk about today, and I need to decide what knitting I'm taking with me to Norway. And I'm leaving in 2 days, and I'm teaching all day tomorrow, so I need to make a decision like now after I film this. So, because I want to finish packing later this afternoon. So, more about that later. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through my website, YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Thank you to all those who have subscribed and all those who commented on last week's podcast. We got to 3,000 subscribers last year. I would like to get to 5,000 by the end of the year. So if you haven't subscribed and you'd like to help me to get to 5,000 subscribers, I would really appreciate it. Mostly talk about knitting, occasionally crochet, and I share a bit of stuff from my days out and travels and things. So there might be a little bit of a travel vlog coming up in the next couple of weeks because I'm off to Norway, and hopefully some Norwegian yarn shops. More about that later. So first, let's do the price draw. I've done the price draw from last week's 3,000 subscriber giveaway, and the winner is Fiona Dilston. The price was one of my online courses. If you want to see what all the courses are, you can go to my website, YarnAddict.co.uk, and click on, I think it's workshops and online courses, and scroll down and you can click on each one there and find out what's included. I haven't done a ton of work over the last week. Last week, Monday and Tuesday, was mainly about getting everything unpacked and my website updated from Wonderwall. Both Simon and I came down with a cold. Wednesday, I was kind of trying to persuade myself I was feeling better. I only had like a mild cold and a little bit of a sore throat, so I didn't feel ill or anything. Because we were going to Bath Wednesday evening, so I took a COVID test just to make sure I didn't have COVID. I know COVID tests can sometimes be a bit unreliable at the start of an infection. Because I didn't have the same symptoms I had when I had COVID in January, I was kind of hoping I was okay. So we went to Bath on Thursday and Friday. More about that later. While we're in Bath, we started feeling more ill. We started coughing more, especially Simon. And then, cut long story short, we got worse over the weekend. On Monday, we eventually got to see an out-of-hours doctor because it was bank holiday here. I was concerned they might be whooping cough. Doctor said that's highly unlikely, but they couldn't test in out of hours. But he said it's highly unlikely. My chest was fine. Simon has a chest infection, so we both prescribed antibiotics. Me as a precaution because I'm about to travel and things. So I've been on antibiotics. Today's day 3, I think. So hopefully I'm not infectious anymore. Yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting last week. I thought I'd just a mild cold and I'll get over it in no time. But I didn't. So that's that. Let's get on and talk about some events coming up. I've got a workshop coming up at Spinning Yarn in Bovey Tracy in Devon on the 4th of July. It's the Sweethearts Lace Scarf Workshop. It's beaded lace knitting, and you will be knitting my Sweethearts scarf. And I'll also tell you how you can turn it into a shawl. So that's on the 4th of July. I've got my knitting retreat in Italy next year, which I'm really excited about. So April next year, I'm going to be hosting a week-long retreat in Italy, in central Italy, near Ancona. It's a beautiful town. It's a restored palazzo. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's a small hotel, so we'll be hopefully filling the whole hotel. And there'll be lots of time to knit and chat and socialize. There will be excursions to experience the local area, the local food and local crafts. and there'll be some knitting workshops, particularly lace knitting. Somebody told me that they had looked at the retreat, but they weren't that interested in lace knitting. So if you don't want to do lace knitting, we can do other things. Just let me know in advance if you don't want to do lace knitting. So say, for example, you'd like some help with brioche. We can do that, but I need to know in advance so that I prepare the right kind of stuff. But I'm happy to be flexible. So if you would be interested in coming, but you don't want to do lace knitting, or you'd like to do lace knitting and some other stuff, just let me know and I can arrange that for you. I am happy to cater to almost anything. So let me know if that's the case. So if there are any dodgy edits in this video, it's probably because I am still coughing a bit and my nose is still a bit blocked. My nose is more blocked today than it was yesterday. I use peppermint essential oil to unblock my nose. So years ago, like over 20 years ago, I used to use those kind of decongestant nasal sprays. They spray up your nose when I got a cold, because if I have a bad cold at night, I will wake quite often. If my nose is blocked, I will wake up feeling like I'm suffocating, and I don't know whether it's a dream or whether I am like half unconscious, but I literally feel like I'm suffocating and I can't move my body and I can't wake myself up, and it is a horrible feeling. So when the kids were younger and used to catch a lot of colds and I would catch their colds, I used to use this decongestant nasal sprays, and at one point I used it a bit too much and I became addicted to it, and whenever I didn't use it I felt like my nose was blocked even though I didn't have a cold. So I would use it like twice a day, and then eventually I realized I had a problem, because even though I didn't have a cold I was still using it because my nose felt blocked, and trying to come off it, stop using it, was quite difficult because my nose just felt blocked. So now I won't use those at all, but I do have quite a lot of essential oils behind me, and peppermint essential oil is great because I just touch the top of the bottle because there's oil there, and then I basically just put my finger in front of my nostril and take a few deep breaths, and then I just smear the rest on my top lip, and that usually clears my nostril very quickly. But I meant to do it before I started filming this and I forgot to do it. But that's a very good tip if you're looking for a natural decongestion that's not going to make you addicted. Don't put the essential oil inside your nose because that's dangerous, and also don't touch your eyes if you have it on your finger. Okay, enough about that. But that is my tip. And I should have put some on, but I don't have a bottle here. It's in my bathroom because I've been using it quite a lot. Okay, let's get on with what I've been knitting this week. So I finished something which I had hoped to actually show you, but it's not dry yet. I hope to finish it on Monday night. So I'm talking about my purple sweater that I'm knitting in Yarn. What's it called? Organic Trio, Danish yarn. I knitted the sleeves while we were in Bath in the evenings. I knit, I think, and no, I didn't. I finished the body when we were in Bath. I started the sleeve before we left. So while we were in Bath, I was knitting on my sock, but on the way home, I think I started the sleeve on the first night in the evening when we were in the hotel. We went back to the hotel early on the first day because we were both a bit tired, and had a quiet night in the hotel. And I started the sleeves that evening. So I picked up the sleeves around the armhole, then I did short row sleeve cap shaping, and then I worked in the round from the underarm. And I think I finished most of the sleeve cap, or got halfway through the sleeve cap shaping maybe, and then I picked it up when we were driving home on Friday night. And I finished the sleeve cap shaping, and then I was like, oh, I haven't worked out my decreases to get down to the wrist. So I was like, oh, I could try and do it in the car, and I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. So I just thought, well, I'll decrease every fourth row and hope for the best, and it worked out perfectly. So I was quite lucky, because by the time I got home, I'd finished at least a third of the sleeve, I think, because I knitted most of the way home. Finished that on Saturday and picked up stitches for the second sleeve. I didn't do a lot. I did quite a lot of knitting, I think, on Sunday. Monday I didn't do a lot. Morning was taken up with going to the doctors and then going to the chemist and things like that. And then Sunday evening I didn't knit much. Sunday afternoon I don't know what else I was doing. I think I was doing something else. And then Sunday evening, oh yes, I filmed a couple of videos, I think, on Sunday. Sunday evening I thought, well, I'll finish this sleeve today, except I had maybe 3/4 of the sleeve to do, so I did not finish it Sunday night. So I finally finished it Monday night and blocked it. No, I didn't finish it Monday night. I finally finished it Tuesday lunchtime. I think I finally finished weaving in the ends. Blocked it. I was thinking about, I hand washed it. Was thinking about putting in the washing machine for a spin cycle, just to make it a bit dry, but I didn't. But I rolled it up in one towel and squeezed out the water, and then I rolled it up in a second towel, dry towel, and squeezed out the water, pinned it out. But because it's knitted in one piece, it's basically 2 layers, so it does take longer to dry, even though it has been drier this week and a lot warmer this week. But it still wasn't dry, and I'm filming this just before midday on Wednesday, and it still wasn't dry earlier, and I was desperate to wear it for this video, but I think it would have been too warm. So I took it off the blocking board and I hung it on the washing line. Now you got to be careful with knitwear, especially in thicker yarns, to hang it to dry. Shouldn't do it when it's really wet, but this is 4-ply, it's very light, it's less than 300 grams. And it is nearly dry, it's like 90% dry. So I put it on the washing line, very carefully hung it so that it kind of folded over the line. And I'm hoping it'll be dry in a couple of hours. It's not very sunny today, but it's like sunny with a bit of cloud. But it is quite warm, so I'm hoping it'll be dry before I edit this video. If it is, I will do a little video and include it here. So my sweater is dry. It doesn't go with the t-shirt I'm wearing underneath, but it's the afternoon, I couldn't be bothered to change. I've also left some markers in because I haven't done like my final measurements yet, and I find it easier to leave markers in so I know where I need to measure to for the various things. So let's just take a look at it. I really like it. I'm also not wearing leggings that go with it, so apologies for my not perfect outfit. The sleeves are, sleeves are probably a tiny bit long. I could have probably done a few rounds less on the sleeves, so I might shorten them at some point, but I'll see. Sleeve caps shaping, again that marker is there for measuring purposes. I just wanted to make sure I could show you what this looked like before I edit the podcast. So I'm very happy with it. Feels quite warm. It's quite cool today, and I've just been in my office, which is quite warm, so it does feel quite warm. I'm going to wear it tomorrow when I'm teaching to see how warm it is. If it's too warm, I won't be taking it to Norway, but I think I probably will take it to Norway because I'm really happy with it and I really like it. So yeah, another successful project. The pattern will be written up and it will be out at some point. Don't hold your breath. I've also been working on my socks. So while we're in Bath, I finished the first of my Allegria socks. I don't know where I was on this last week. Have I written it down? No, I don't think I did. So I finished this sock. Don't think I finished it last week. I think I finished, yeah, I did finish this in Bath. I don't know, last week seems a long way away. And then I cast on for the second sock to knit on, also in Bath. But I didn't get very far. So I finished the rib, 25 rounds, I think I did a rib. And then I'm doing this garter rib pattern. I don't know if you can, probably can't see it. What I'm going to do is, because I'm going to Norway on Friday, I'm going to take this with me. I'm going to take this sock off this blocker, take all the markers off it, pack this sock, hopefully maybe even finish this on Friday when I'm traveling, and then I'll have these socks to wear in Norway. It has been quite warm in Norway in the last week, I think, but I wear socks every night. I get really cold feet, especially at night, and for the last few years I have worn hand-knitted socks every night. I even wear it when we go to Spain if we go to Spain in August and it's like 30 plus degrees and we have the air conditioning on to try and get some sleep because otherwise it's too hot. I still wear socks at night because my feet get really cold. So I packed one other pair of socks to take with me. So I thought I would pack this one and then finish this one and take this one with me and knit on Friday. Hopefully finish it on Friday, but if not, I should finish it over the weekend, and then I've got a second pair of socks to wear. Take this off the sock blockers, I don't forget to pack it. So that's I haven't been working on this since we came home from Bath because I've been working on finishing that sweater, and since I finished the sweater I've been working on my other socks. I've been saving this for travel day on Friday. So since we came back from Bath, I have been working on my other sock. So yesterday, kind of afternoon and evening, and a little bit this morning. So this is my Roseland sock. I'm knitting it in Rico. Let me see if I got the label in here. Where did I buy the yarn? Oh, I bought the yarn. Where did I buy the yarn for this? Did I buy this yarn? I think I bought this yarn last time I went to Norway in March. It's Rico Design Socks Neon 4-ply Superwash. It's really lovely. I quite like it. I don't think I've knitted with Rico sock yarn. Sorry. It's very bright. So I have started the second sock. I think I showed last week that I'd cast on and done like 1 or 2 rounds. So I picked it up yesterday, and I haven't done a lot because I also had to do some swatching last night, so that took a couple of hours. But I haven't knitted that much. It's not that easy to see the lace pattern because bright pinks are a nightmare on camera. But I am third of the way up the leg maybe. So I'm not going to take this to Norway with me. This is going to stay here. I'll probably work on it tonight. I should be knitting some swatches because I have a magazine design submission that's due, I think, the day I come back from Norway. I should have really been working on it this week to try and get it finished, at least get my swatches knitted, but I just haven't been in the space to think about it. So I'm going to work on that in Norway. Sometimes when I go on holiday, if I know I have a design submission I need to work on, I will take some yarn with me to knit the swatches. I'm going to have a look at what the submission, the brief is, and if I have to take some yarn with me, I will take some yarn with me. But I will probably just raid my mum's yarn stash and use that. My mum's yarn stash is mainly just leftover yarn from her projects, and I have found yarn in there before to use for design submissions. Apologies if you can hear some background noise. Somebody's turned up and they're talking downstairs, and the dog is barking, but I need to finish filming this because I got other stuff to do. So I could also buy some yarn in Norway for this design submission if I have to. I've done that before. Again, apologise for the background noise. So I'm not going to take this sock with me to Norway, but I'm going to probably work on it a bit tonight and maybe tomorrow night. There's been a train strike here this week. I mean, I saw that. I was panicking a bit because Friday was included in the dates where there are disruption. I think the main strike down here is today. So the train from here to London, I think the main strike date is today. So hopefully trains will be back to normal by Friday. There is an overtime ban on Friday apparently, so it might affect some services, but I have been told by TWR, who's my local train company, that my train should be running as normal on Friday. So let's hope it does. I have 7 hours from when I arrive in London to when my plane leaves Stansted Airport, and I have to get from London Paddington across London to Liverpool Street station, and then the train from there to Stansted, which should, if there's a train straight away when I get to Liverpool Street, that takes about an hour and 15 minutes in total, but you know, hour and a half at the most, probably 2 hours max. So as long as I leave there, and the Stansted Express, apparently they're saying they'll be running 3 trains an hour. I think they normally run 4 maybe, or 5, so they'll be running 3 trains an hour, but the trains are really long, so I don't think they'll be that crowded, because normally when I'm on them they're nearly empty. So hopefully it won't cause any problems. As long as I'm at Stansted by about 3 at the latest, I should be fine. And I arrive in London for 10, so I've got plenty of time, which I like to have lots of time. So let's talk about what I'm taking with me in terms of knitting for this holiday. I'm also going to share what I purchased last week, but I'll talk about that later. So I'm going for 13 days on my own, see my parents. Lots of stuff going on with them at the moment. I need to take some knitting. There are lots of yarn shops in Norway. There were 2 yarn shops in the town where my parents live, and the one that I prefer, my favourite one, has just closed just after I was there last time. I think sometime in April they closed, which is very sad because it was my favourite, and I think it was my mum's favourite as well. So I'm very sad about that. But there is another yarn shop there. I haven't been in the other yarn shop for probably a couple of years because I didn't find the lady there very friendly. So I will pop in this time just to see what it's like. So I was kind of umming and ahhing about what to take with me. So my plan for the last year, because I have to go to Norway more often now, for the last year I've been leaving bits close to Norway every time I went. to try and have enough clothes there so I can go without taking any clothes with me, and I can go with just a backpack. And I thought I would need one more trip with a suitcase, and then I'll have enough clothes there for both spring, autumn, summer, winter, and I'll be fine just to go with a backpack. And then because this was like an unplanned holiday, I thought I'll just go with a backpack this time. And I bought a new backpack from Amazon, one that fits the exact requirements that Ryanair allow you. Has to go under the seat in front of you. And I think Ryanair are quite strict with those cheapest tickets. And I've been packing for the last couple of days. So I want to take underwear and socks, some bra, pants and socks for 3 days. Because I've got a couple of sets in Norway. Plus what I'm wearing. I packed 4 t-shirts. So it is Norway's National Day next week, 17th of May. So that means I have to wear something to dress up in. So I took a skirt and a fancier t-shirt and then 3 regular t-shirts. And I also packed a pair of leggings, but I took those out. I have things like, I have a few t-shirts and long sleeve t-shirts and a pair of jeans and a pair of leggings and stuff already in Norway. By the time I packed my clothes in that bag, there wasn't a lot of space left, and I need to take my laptop, I need to take some knitting, my medication, and my medication is in a bigger pouch than this, so my medication takes up more space than my sock knitting. A notebook, I need to take my design notebook if I'm going to work on this design submission, my knitting kit, which is in a pouch about this size, I think, all of it with needles and stuff, and chargers, power bank, things like that, because I'm not allowed to carry, I'm only allowed to carry that one item on the plane. I am going to also take a small crossbody bag, but the crossbody bag is really tiny. It's really just will fit my phone, my passport, my card holder, and my AirPods, and maybe my hand cream and little hand cream tube and lip balm. That's all it'll take. So I've been agonizing over this, and then and I was getting to a point last night where I thought I cannot take any knitting with me. I can't even take this with me, my sock knitting. So I was really kind of this morning thinking I'm going to change my tickets. So I've changed my ticket for the way out to priority. I'm flying with Ryanair. Priority means so you can take a carry-on case with you on board and a rucksack. I'm taking my old carry-on suitcase, and then I'm going to leave that in Norway, and I'm going to use it to store all the stuff I leave in Norway, because at the moment it's in 2 carrier bags. So I'm going to put that stuff in my suitcase and then keep the suitcase there as storage on top of my parents' bedroom cupboard, which I don't know about yet, but I'm sure they'll be fine. And so this morning I completely repacked, and I took out all the stuff I'm going to leave in Norway. I took out of my backpack. So the stuff that was in my backpack is just the stuff that I'm not leaving in Norway. And my backpack is not even half full. I need to put my laptop in and my knitting in and things like that. So by the time I put that in, it'll probably be 3/4 full, maybe. So I'm kind of feeling like I failed because I thought I could get everything in a backpack. But I also think I had originally planned to travel with a suitcase one more time before I went backpack only. So I don't feel too bad. So yeah. So I will be able to take some knitting, because yesterday I was thinking I won't be able to take any knitting. And I've been agonizing over what to take. So part of me I want to take my pixie yarn and start a new sweater for myself. I'm not going to do that. I've finished 3 sweaters for myself this year so far. 2 were started last year, but I finished and did most of the knitting this year. So I thought I'm not doing that. I'm not going to take it down, but I also got the Truly Hooked YarnAddict from last year, which I want to knit something with. I know what I want to knit, but I haven't decided on the stitch pattern. I thought about taking that or taking like half of it, because I wouldn't get all of it knitted up. But I've decided not to. I think I'm going to leave that and take like half of it with me when we go to Spain in June, because I'll have more luggage then. So then I thought, I have a shawl called Murano, after the island in Venice, which is famous for glass. And it was knitted in Navia merino cotton or something. Can't remember, but I can't get Navia anymore. I don't stock Navia anymore, so I would like to re-knit it because I really like it. But the Navia was very similar to the Yaktagan Organic Trio, and I got these 2 colours, and I thought they would go nice. So I thought they won't take up too much space. And then I thought this is 50 grams of each colour. I actually need 100 grams of each colour, and I don't have another ball of that one, so I'm hoping I can get another ball of that spinny on tomorrow, because that's where I bought these two from originally. So I thought, but 4 of these is quite a lot, but I probably won't get a whole shawl knitted up in the time I'm there anyway, so maybe I'll take just 1 of each. But then I was also thinking I really would like a 1 skein shawl knitted up in the Monostil Uruguay Allegria in time for Yarndale. And I really like this colourway, speckled colourway. So I thought maybe I'll take that and just knit a 100 gram skein shawl, because I can probably finish that while I'm there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I've kind of changed my mind about half a dozen times, so who knows. But I think I'm going to take that one. I don't think I'm going to wind it before I go, because I can't be bothered to get all my winding equipment out today. And it's easier to get it into the suitcase like this because it's more squishy. So I think I'm going to take that. I am thinking about also taking beads. I got these beads out to use for the Murano shawl, but as I'm not going to knit that, I thought maybe I'll take these beads because they go quite nicely, and add some beads to this shawl. Because I would like a small shawl that takes just 1 skein. That would take either the Allegria or the Monostil Uruguay Fino yarn. Because people are much more likely to buy yarn and patterns at shows if you have a sample knitted up. I noticed that at Wonderwall, and I've noticed at previous shows, what we sell the most of is the stuff we have on display. Obviously, we can't display everything. So I think I've decided I'm going to go with this. Need my crochet hook as well for the beads. I haven't come up with a pattern yet, but I can design that on the go over the weekend, taking my laptop so I can type it all up and everything. So I think I've decided I'm going to do that. But who knows? I might change my mind again. I don't think I will, but I might. I was also thinking, because I'd really like to crochet, so I'd like to crochet one of my clutch bags. So I've got this one, Colour Clutch. I also got one called the Glamour Clutch. Let me just grab the Glamour Clutch. The Glamour Clutch and the Colour Clutch. And I'd like to crochet something like that. There's so many people at shows now asking about crochet patterns, and I don't have any crochet patterns. And I'm not sure that I want to crochet a shawl. Mainly because I haven't done any crochet designs for a long time. But I'm thinking maybe I'm going to crochet a clutch bag. I also would like to crochet a tote bag. I've seen there's so much crochet in shops at the moment. I don't want to buy anything that's crocheted from like regular high street shops, because they will most likely have been hand crocheted, because you can't machine crochet. And there is stuff that's sold as crochet sometimes. When you look at it, it's not actually crochet. But there is lots of crochet in the shops at the moment. So if you're buying crochet items from high street shops at a really cheap price, chances are somebody's literally being paid pennies to make it. So I am thinking about making a crochet tote bag. I was thinking it'd be a fun thing to make for going to Spain in June. There is a designer bag that I quite like from Prada. I'd never buy it because the price is ridiculous for what it is, but it is like a crochet tote bag, except it's quite open. I wouldn't want it that open, or if it was that open, I'd have to line it. So I'm thinking maybe doing something similar to that. I don't know. So what I'm thinking about doing is, while I'm in Norway, if I find a nice, I think I want to do it in cotton yarn. If I find a nice cotton yarn, I might either start making a clutch bag or a tote bag. Probably a clutch bag because it's smaller, because I've got to make sure I can get all this back home with me, because that is a problem. So that's the main thing I'm looking for in terms of yarn while I'm in Norway, which means that if I take this shawl, it's fairly small, and if I run out, if I finish that, I can also do a bit of crochet. I wouldn't want crochet to be my only project, because I do have to look down more when I'm working with crochet, because I'm not as good at crochet as I am at knitting, whereas with knitting I don't have to look down all the time, unless I'm doing colour work. And if I look down all the time, I get really severe pain in my neck, so I can't do that, and I wouldn't be able to work on it very much. So that's my plans for Norway, but watch this space. I will share next week. I don't know if there'll be a podcast next week. I have videos that are pre-recorded that will be scheduled while I'm away, so I don't have to do a podcast. I have other videos I could put up, but I would like to try and record a podcast next week if I get enough knitting done, but it just depends on what happens on my parents and how much time I get. Because I'm going on my own, I won't be doing a lot other than spending time with my parents. I am hoping to get into Oslo on my own one day to do a bit of yarn shopping, maybe visit a couple of yarn shops I haven't been to recently, because you all seem to enjoy my yarn shop vlog from Oslo last year, so I'm hoping to do that. I will link last year's yarn shop vlog from Oslo at the end of this video. So that's my plan. We'll also definitely be going to, there's a shopping centre half an hour from where my parents live, which has a very big yarn shop as well, so I'll be going there as well at some point, but I don't know when. So I want to take some knitting with me, because the rest of this sock is not going to last me probably even the weekend if I get a lot of knitting done on it on Friday. So the first day in Bath, on Thursday, we bought a ticket on one of the hop-on hop-off tour buses. They do 2 routes around Bath, one around the city centre and one around the countryside around Bath, which it was raining a lot when we were in Bath, and I think if you do the Skyline tour, it's what the countryside tour is called. If you do that when it's sunny and or at least dry, and you can sit upstairs in the open top bed, it's probably quite nice because you got quite good views. But it was raining, and the entire top bit in that bus was all open, and it was raining, so we weren't sitting upstairs, and you can't see a lot from downstairs. So it felt a little bit like a waste of time, but we paid for the ticket, so we did it. What we didn't realize was that it says that it's valid for 24 hours. So Friday morning, we got to the local bus stop for the city tour before our ticket from the previous day expired. And as I got up on the bus, I said, I assume this is still valid. So we got it about 10 o'clock yesterday. And she said, oh, it's valid all day today. And I was like, but we bought it yesterday morning. She said, yes, because trying to work out what time people bought it and checking that is so much hassle. She said we just make them valid for 2 days. So if you buy them one day, it's also valid all the next day, even if you buy it in the morning. So you basically get 2 days. So that's not bad value. So we used that a lot on Thursday. We went all the way around the city tour, and then we used it to get to where we wanted to go. We went to the assembly rooms, that's what it's called. We went to the Bath assembly rooms on Thursday. We booked a tour there, so it's a National Trust property, and we have National Trust membership, so it was free. So we booked a tour, so we did that on Thursday, and the open top bus tour. Then we didn't do a lot else. We had an early meal and went back to the hotel to relax. And then on Friday we got the open top bus tour to the Jane Austen Centre, and we did the Jane Austen Centre, which I've done before, but I think it's changed a bit. I thought it was better than I remembered it, so we really enjoyed that. And then we did the open top bus tour all the way around the city again, and then we had a wander around the city centre. We wandered around the Royal Crescent for a bit, around the circus, which you'll see in the video at the end of this video. And we wandered around the city centre a bit and went into a coffee shop and a couple of shops and things like that. So didn't do a lot of shopping. But on Thursday afternoon, so there are 2 yarn shops in Bath, Wool in the city centre and a Yarn Story, which is in the city centre but slightly on the outskirts of the city centre. Been to both before. I was hoping to get to both, but I hadn't made any specific plans to get to both, if you know what I mean. So on Thursday afternoon, I think it was, we happened to be walking up this street, and I turned to my left and I was like, oh, that's where Wool is, because we were coming from it from like a different direction than I have done before. I didn't realize kind of where we were in relation to the shop. So I said, can we just pop down to the yarn shop? So we popped down to Wool. It's a small shop, but it's really lovely, and I forgot to film anything in there, which I'm really annoyed about. But I picked up some yarns. I was looking around, and Simon looked at the sock yarn, and I said to Simon, oh yeah, I've knitted a few socks in that one colourway and that colourway and whatever. And he said, well, I like this colourway. Can you do some socks for me in this? So I got this colourway from West Yorkshire Spinners. I'm wondering if I actually have this already. I'm not sure. Or whether I've knitted socks with in the past. But this is Signature 4-ply from West Yorkshire Spinners. They're Rum Paradise colourway, and Simon wants socks in this. He likes rainbow socks. So I'm not going to knit those socks yet. I'm going to put it in my stash and maybe start knitting them when I get back from Norway, if I finish these other socks that are on the go. But I will try and do it in the next couple of, or at least cast on in the next couple of months. But I'm not taking this to Norway with me. I'm only going to take these socks and finish those, because then if I finish those, I've got an excuse to buy some new yarn in Norway for another pair of socks. I didn't get to a yarn story. I had hoped to, but because we weren't feeling 100%, on Friday I was feeling a bit worse, so I wasn't very keen. By the time we'd done the bus tour in the Jane Austen Centre and had a look around the city centre and stuff, I was feeling a bit rough, and we were meeting the girls in the afternoon. They were coming up from Wales to see us, so I decided not to go to a yarn story because it would have been having to walk out there from the city centre. I don't think it takes very long, like, I don't know, 15 minutes each way maybe. But because I was feeling a bit rough by then, I thought I'm not going to make the effort, especially because I'm about to go to Norway as well, and I will be buying yarn in Norway. So I thought I will leave it for this time. But a yarn store is a really nice shop, and it is much bigger. I haven't been there since before COVID, but it's a really nice shop. So I do feel sad I didn't make it to it, but I also, because of circumstances and what else we had planned and not feeling great, I didn't want to push myself too much. And we were due to meet the girls at the other end of the town, near the station anyway, so it would have been a bit of a hassle. And the tour bus that we booked, the city tour, didn't go anywhere near a yarn story, which is a shame. So then we met the girls and had a meal with them, and then we drove home. Spent the weekend trying to get better. So I've got a video from Bath to show you, which I'll put at the end of this video. On Tuesday this week, I recorded a video showing off my hibiscus shawl. I think I showed this last week. This is the version knitted in For the Love of Yarn, and then we got the Manos Uruguay merino version under there. Just one skein needed. I did a video on this, which I released on Tuesday. You can order the yarn from me, the merino yarn, but my online shop will be closed by the time this video goes live. I'm closing it after I film this, and it will open the week after next. I'll open it probably a couple of days before I get back from Norway, because sometimes I've left it open when I've been on holidays, but then I worry that people are not going to read the notice I put up and buy something and then get annoyed because they don't get it for 2 weeks. So I'm going to close it today, and then it'll reopen just before I come back from Norway. If you want to hear more about hibiscus, do go and watch that video. I will link it at the end of this video and below. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing and help me get to 5,000 subscribers. Subscribing doesn't cost you anything, but it does help me a lot. Also, liking the video and commenting also helps me a lot to get this video seen by more people. So thank you very much. I really appreciate your support. And it was lovely to see so many regular viewers at Wonderful last weekend. Weekend before last. So I really enjoyed that as well. So if you see me out and about in a yarn shop, at a yarn show, wherever, do say hello. I don't mind at all. Okay, thank you for watching.